Good evening. My talk is called Living Amongst Believers. The general theme of this evening is, well, I mean, a lot of the events that are put on by Warwick Atheists, if you've been to any, they tend to focus on other religions, and this one is more about, well, it's usually Christianity. This one's more about actually being an atheist, actually focusing on us. But then this talk's going back around and saying you can't really talk about what it's like to be an atheist without putting it in the context of living amongst religious people. So, can we coexist, and how? So why do we have an atheist society? And we must be one of the only groups defining ourselves by what we don't do. And there's no other campaigning society who all agree on what they don't believe in, and we technically do, which is a lack of belief in God. I mean, Sam said earlier on that there is no God, and most of us would probably agree with that. Most of us would probably, who are in Warwick Atheists, would say that there's no God. But you don't technically need to say that to call yourself an atheist. You just need to not believe. I mean, there's no society for people who specifically don't study maths, non-drinkers of real ale, or people who think on balance that fairies probably don't exist. But it's not always so simple. If you don't like maths, real ale, or fairies, then you're free to forget about them. But it's not the same when you don't share a belief held by those around you. And that's not just an everyday belief, but when it's about the nature of the universe, what you believe is the basis for your moral behaviour and how you ought to behave towards other people. So why do other people's beliefs matter? And it's not just little things like when you sneeze and someone says, "Bless you," and you're like, "Thanks." Like Sam alluded to, when people suggest that achievements are not your own but they're due to other people. And religion can have a big presence in our lives. And what effects might it have? If someone's denied an abortion due to laws which only exist because of someone's religion, we couldn't say whether that's right or wrong right now, but certainly that's an effect of religion. If you've spent your childhood trying to understand God, and you might grow up and then wish that you'd been reading about other things. Maybe there are diseases curable only by stem cell research. Again, you wouldn't say that all atheists have the same opinion about anything like this, but in America, in the United States, it's a case that stem cell research is blocked by Christian groups. Or in Africa, there's obviously an AIDS pandemic, which would be contained at the least if there was more condom use. And these are propaganda, you can't really call it anything else, is released, such as that they cause illness and things, but by the Vatican and things like that, and suicide bombing. No one's saying the motive is always going to be religious, but there are going to be very few suicide bombers who don't believe that they think that when they do this there's going to be nothing and that's it, and they won't get any reward. Right, and is this even true in the UK, that we're living amongst believers? And this month a document was published. I've got the URL if anyone would like to see it. It says approximately 2/3 of the British either did not claim membership of religion or said that they never attended a religious service, compared with 26% in 1964. But that's not necessarily true worldwide. And we've got 14%, which is non-religious and atheist added together, are not religious, and all of the rest, it's mainly Christian, Muslim, Hindu, and things like that. So even though in the UK we can't really whinge about how we're always being held down by the constant Christians and things that we're seeing around, but on a worldwide scale that's not true. So the UK seems pretty enlightened. Well, does it? There are still 26 seats for Lord Spiritual and the House of Lords. And this is in a supposed democracy where people are supposed to be elected before they can have a say in government, and these are people who've just they've just risen up through the church, and now they're in the House of Lords and they get to have a say in legislation. And since 1944, the Education Act school children are required to collectively worship every day. And since the Education Reform Act in 1988, this has to be of a wholly or mainly of a broadly Christian character. So what could we do? We don't generally have a motive to deconvert people, and lots of us would say, well, if you want to believe that, and that's your own opinion, then that's fine. We can discuss it, but if you don't change your mind, then that doesn't matter. And that we don't have any leaders or scriptures that are imploring us to use violence. Religiosity is declining in Western Europe. It's not in general.
Thanks very much. That was brilliant. Come back next time and talk to us again.
Go away soon.
Be trouble. Yeah, fantastic. We're not going to do questions now. We're going to do questions at the end because everything's taking a lot longer than we'd hoped. But that's.
And if we're willing to get along, are they?
But that's fine. People? So, moving swiftly on to the next speaker so that we get things done in time. We've got Sam next. There he is. Yep, Sam next.
Talking about who wouldn't be accommodating.
Atheists living among believers. In response to all the religious things that Alexander was talking about, Dom can defend any of the CU at least, hopefully, in a minute when he talks. So, but hopefully it's okay. I thought
about getting along.
Yeah, brilliant.
Christianity. I feel I should be really careful about what I say. All right. So I do have Bible passages. Mark 16:15, Jesus instructs to go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. So for Christians, evangelism is central to observation of their religion. And this is the only reference I could find, but I'm sure that some people in the room would be willing to tell us lots of justifications for evangelism. And I suppose this problem is for a live and let live strategy.
Do you have a presentation?
No one would have reason to complain if everyone kept their beliefs to themselves.
Okay, whichever's faster.
But requiring Christians to keep their beliefs to themselves is sort of requiring them to disobey Jesus. I mean, they can believe in the factual truth of the Bible.
We'll probably have Sam's talk and then have a
maybe
quick
this
break.
isn't enough.
Because it will be about an hour, then people may want to drink or eat or whatever.
I mean, some Bible passages suggest it
might not be too long, the second half, because I know at least
I found Acts of the Apostles 16:30-31.
So you were saying earlier,
what must I do to be saved?
So that's good.
Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved.
Yeah.
Or there's the classic John 3:16, God so loved the world that whoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And those passages are literally saying that all you need to do is believe. But like I said, I'm sure lots of people could tell me other places where it says you need to spread the word. So what can we do?